The buzz became a roar starting at 10:15 a.m. local time, and then still 3 hours before Wilder and Fury would get on the scale. Finally, they had to release the pressure of the massive crowd to let them in. And look at this scene now inside the MGM Grand Garden Arena with the anticipation of the heavyweight championship of the world between the two undefeated Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. Pay-per-view Saturday night. Wilder was first to arrive here this afternoon. 42-0-1 with 41 knockouts. The WBC heavyweight champion pacing in his locker room trying to get comfortable. Meanwhile, you hear the massive roar of the scene for the arrival of Tyson Fury. The Brits and the Irish travelers have come out in force to support the Gypsy King with a huge reception here inside the arena. The lineal heavyweight champion of the world, Fury, against the WBC champ, Deontay Wilder. As we say, good afternoon, everybody. Thrilled that you're with us. Joe Tessitore, alongside the recent welterweight champion of the world, Sean Porter, and my longtime boxing brethren, Brian Kenny, as we are set to bring you the weigh-in here today. But guys, as soon as we walked into the MGM Grand Garden Arena, we said, I don't think they've opened up enough sections for this crowd, Sean. It is electric in here.
You know, all these people, all these Brits, they're on vacation, all right? Our Americans, we're at work. We'll be here Saturday night.
It's going to be roaring Saturday.
We'll be here.
Okay.
It's funny, you know, Ali and Frazier went to the New York State Athletic Commission. They weighed in. That was it. You know, you know what? This didn't happen. But this, Joe, that's the biggest line I've ever seen at the MGM Grand. And that includes Canelo and Mayweather, where people were just waiting to get in, as you pointed out, hours before this place would open up.
Speaking of athletic commissions, we do have news that pertains to today, because the Nevada State Athletic Commission has said, based on this, what happened Wednesday at the final news conference when it went on for 15 minutes, the vitriol, the heat, the pushing, the shoving, there will be no stare down, no final face-off today. They want to get this thing to the finish line nice and clean.
So what? We got to face off on Wednesday, all right? All of the energy was there on Wednesday. Nobody expected it, but we got it, all right? Today is just about the weigh-in. It's about these guys seeing each other one more time. There's no need for a face-off.
Joe, they're going to fight tomorrow night, right?
They are.
They don't need to fight today. I'm with you. Oh my God, we don't need to see it today. I'm fine with it. Remember Lennox Lewis and Mike Tyson? They put like a plastic screen between the two, so they couldn't possibly get at each other. You don't need that, but play it safe. You don't need the stare down. You don't need the extra tweets. We get it. They're going to fight tomorrow night.
By the way, Lennox Lewis will be one of my partners calling the fight ringside tomorrow night for this mega pay-per-view. Let's waste no time of getting to the first of our 4 weigh-ins. Here's Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon to you, and we welcome you to the MGM Grand Garden Arena here in Las Vegas for the official weigh-in for our tremendous night of action coming your way right here tomorrow night. And we'll begin with our opening attraction on pay-per-view, a battle of undefeated blue-chip super welterweights scheduled for 10 rounds of boxing. Please welcome first to the scale at this time, undefeated in his campaign to the ring with a record of 6 wins, no losses, 4 wins coming by way of knockout. He's a 2016 Olympian. He is undefeated, joining us from Sydney, Australia. Please welcome Daniel Lewis. And Daniel Lewis weighs in at 153 pounds, 153. And now we invite his opponent to the scale at this time. His record 13 wins, no losses, 1 draw, with 9 wins coming by way of knockout. From Coachella, California, please welcome the 6'5" towering inferno, Sebastian Fundora. And Sebastian Fundora weighs in at 153.5 pounds, 153 1/2.
Fundora and Lewis will start the night at 9 o'clock on our pay-per-view as we continue here. As we work our way to Wilder and Fury, the heavyweight championship of the world, the weigh-in coming to you live from Vegas. What better place to have it? Fury and click buy now, or watch it on the ESPN app. Go to the ESPN Plus tab, click on the Wilder Fury fight tile. Of course, it's also available on pay-per-view. Deontay Wilder resting before he gets on the scale. The 34-year-old American superstar who has never forgotten where he's come from. There is Deontay, final moments before the weigh-in. 34-year-old from Tuscaloosa, who is so fiercely proud and still has that hunger that he always displayed when growing up in Alabama.
Yeah, he says, I love the simple things in life. He's got his family, he's got his friends, big home, everything that he loves. He's staying at home because it keeps him simply where he loves to be.
Joe, he plays in a basketball league with local cops. He is part of the community there. He's a regular guy there. And it's not just talk. He says, I have the same team that I started off with. And JD's, Mark Breland, same guys. No changes throughout his life.
That is the WBC heavyweight champion. But a real treat on this pay-per-view is we get to see one of the most exciting Mexican champions, the WBO super bantamweight champion, Emmanuel Navarrete, will have a title defense on this pay-per-view. It's time to go to Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Well, fans, from the MGM Grand Garden Arena here in Las Vegas, we continue with our official weigh-ins. This time, we present our fighters in the first of our World Championship attractions. 12 rounds of boxing for the WBO Junior Featherweight Championship of the World. First to the scale, we present the challenger, seeking his 18th consecutive victory, making his first attempt at a world title and his U.S. debut. Please welcome world-ranked challenger from the Philippines, Gio Santissima. And Santissima weighs in at the limit of 122 pounds, 122. And now to the scale, the defending world champion, outstanding record of 30 wins, only 1 defeat, 26 big wins coming by way of knockout. From Mexico City, he'll be making the 5th defense of his title. Here is the defending WBO Junior Featherweight Champion of the World, Emmanuel El Vaquero Navarrete. Navarrete makes the limit of 122 pounds, 122 for the defending champion.
There was a concern as to whether Navarrete would be able to make 122, the world champion, perhaps his last defense of his super bantamweight, junior featherweight title. It's hard for him to make weight.
It will be the last.
Well, let's advance the story when it comes to Deontay Wilder, and of course the big story is the big right hand. Historic level power for Deontay Wilder in a rich and storied history of the heavyweight division. When you think about the big hitters like Joe Louis or the great Rocky Marciano, Muhammad Ali, and that era of the 70s, the thunderous power of George Foreman, and then into the 80s with the force of nature that was Iron Mike Tyson. But the guy with the highest knockout percentage is Deontay Wilder in the history division at 95% knockout rate. So many facets to making up a fight, including gamesmanship. Pay-per-view. the British fans, the Irish traveler fans here in force. But guess who else is a fan of Tyson Fury's? Pro Bowl offensive lineman Lane Johnson from the Eagles is in the locker room right now, presenting Fury with his Pro Bowl jersey and a trade-off with a signed glove. He's the lineal champion, the beltless title, the alphabet absent claim, but the one history recognizes. And he's looking to make the sixth defense of his lineal title, but just one moment, says Brian Kenny. Hold on a second, says Brian Kenny.
I shouldn't have telegraphed this shot. I should have just Jersey Joe Walcotted you, let you walk toward me, I walk away. Wait, what? Bang! Let me just pump the brake for a second on that, Joe. And I know, look, I was on for a decade on Friday Night Fights with Max, you, Teddy, and I was all about this. But you can't put the title on ice. You can't be the lineal champion emeritus, and it's just yours forever and ever. He was gone 2.5 years. Deontay Wilder won a belt, and then he started defending on a regular basis. Anthony Joshua then beat Klitschko. He started defending on a regular basis. The heavyweight division moved on without Tyson Fury. Now, I know, Sean, Tyson Fury, when he comes back, when Tyson comes back, he says, hey, you have to deal with me.
Yeah.
You have to deal, and it's like, that's correct. But so, yes, you got to be the man who beat the man, but you can't put it on ice forever.
Follow the trail. The belt has, the championship has prestige.
Sean, there's a break in the trail.
You got to follow the trail.
There's a 2.5-year break in the trail.
I don't care. Listen to me. He was the lineal champion because he beat the man who beat the man who beat the man who beat the man. He had some problems. He went away. Guess what? When he comes back, he's still the man. Nothing has changed about Tyson Fury at all.
All right, Sean, what's the time limit? How long can you not fight and have that title? And
nobody said anything.
Forever?
Nobody said anything.
So Errol Spence just barely, maybe beats you, right? Can he now take the welterweight title and say, I'm putting it on ice for 5 years?
Say something.
Yeah, 5 years. Hey, what about me?
Nobody said anything. But in his defense, in Tyson Fury's defense, no one has been able to beat him since he's been back.
Well, I'll tell you what,
doubt.
I don't know if you guys just saw the split screen with the two fighters realizing they were on camera together, but they're well aware of what they're in store for tomorrow night and what's on the line, the WBC championship and the lineal heavyweight championship of the world. And oh, by the way, the Ring Magazine belt, which is history written.
I feel good about all this, Joe.
I feel great about all this. Tyson's all smiles. Wilder is calmly sitting back right now. In moments, they will be out on stage together and on the scale. All right, let's dig in on Tyson Fury a little bit because he has speed, he has movement, and as Andre Ward explains, he is ultra elusive. See of that in their first fight when Wilder only landed 17% of his power punches, well below his typical average when he fought Fury. Guys, we were with Fury yesterday, and he made an interesting comment of analysis to us. He said, growing up and up until training for this fight, never wore headgear.
Right. It makes perfect sense. The hardest thing in the world to do, Sean, as you know, stand right in front of a guy and make him miss. In the Catskill Boxing Club, we're going back a few decades now, Joe, but I was a younger guy and I'm in there. They didn't put headgear, and I said, we're sparring without headgear. They said, you will be so tired, you would rather get hit in the head than move your head. Mike Tyson, with very few exceptions, never wore headgear, and he moved his head all the way up to winning the title. Tyson Fury, same thing. He said, put on headgear now just to protect that cut.
Right, because of the cut.
But he said it really bothered him. You have to have a real desire. I will not get hit cleanly. That's part of why he's become such a complete boxer.
And Tyson's been blessed. He's been blessed with the ability to have this sense of anticipation that you don't see. You know, he's been blessed with this speed and this cat-like reflex that makes him awesome. At 6'9", who does that?
It's hard earned, man. It's hard. You have to do that from the cradle.
And
like you doing your whole life.
At the end of the day, he grew up doing exactly what we see him doing now.
Now they're turning this into a comedy show now. There's his big bro Shane right there. And he's playing with his hair. And the camera here. Listen, he better stay blessed and stay elusive because he's going up against the guy with the ultimate power. Ultimate showdown in which the guy on the right has said, I'm going to knock him out in the second round. Tyson Fury has been openly talking about what's about to happen, stepping on the scale and weighing much more than we have seen him in recent fights, saying, I will be somewhere between 265 pounds and 270 pounds. He was in the low 250s when he had the first fight. That's where he was when we saw him last year at the MGM Grand Garden Arena. everybody has their own reaction to saying this. As you see, he came in at 256 against Wilder, more recently 254. What's your take, Sean?
You know what? For me, I need to see what your body looks like today, Tyson Fury. I know you have a nutritionist. I understand you've had a strength and conditioning coach through this training camp, but has that really done anything for you? So I think when he takes everything off today, I think we'll get a good look at his body and just how healthy he is to carry that weight through this fight.
I believe him, guys, when he says he's had a very good camp. And that's why this day is important, because this is the weigh-in. As we know, heavyweight weigh-ins are useless. It's we're just out here dancing for you people. But no, today it is different. It's the unlimited weight class. But why would he want to come in so much heavier? Yeah. He's a guy, Sean, he moves, hand feints, head feints, feet feints. He was on his toes moving constantly in the last fight. I thought he won 10 out of 12 rounds. Why would he want to come back and say, now I've got to finish you? Why?
The only sense I make out of it is he wants to hang on to Deontay. There's going to be points where he's going to want to get close to Deontay, and he's going to want to put some weight on that boy.
Sean, that's exactly what I expect early on. Brawling, mauling, leaning.
You want to get close to Deontay?
Listen,
I don't want to get close to Deontay. Why would you do that?
But I agree, but I think that's what we're going to see. But let's see what he weighs in today. By the way, we have an IBF heavyweight title eliminator before our main event Saturday night in the pay-per-view. Here's Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Well, fans, from the MGM Grand Garden Arena here in Las Vegas, we continue with our official weigh-ins. This time we present fighters in our co-main event of the evening. 12 rounds of action scheduled for the IBF Heavyweight World Title Eliminator. First, we invite to the scale the World Heavyweight contender from Vallejo, California, known as El Gallo Negro, introducing Gerald Washington. $236.5 pounds, 236.5 for Gerald Washington. And now from Carson, California, please welcome to the scale the former IBF heavyweight champion of the world, Prince Charles Martin. 254 pounds for the former world champion, 254 for Prince Charles Martin.
So Martin and Washington have checked in. That will be the heavyweight fight before the fight. The most anticipated fight in a generation. The fight that has been roaring with buzz, mainstream galvanizing buzz, as everybody knows this is the place to be. To the scale we go for Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury when we return by Andre Ward on Deontay Wilder, who has 9 title fight wins by stoppage. The time has come, the weigh-in for the heavyweight World Championship. And for that, again, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the MGM Grand Garden Arena here in Las Vegas, Nevada, we are ready for the official weigh-in with the main event of the evening, the highly anticipated rematch for the WBC and Lineal Heavyweight Championship of the world. Please welcome the fighters as they make their way to the stage at this time. First, standing at 6 feet 9 inches from Manchester, England, here is the undefeated Lineal Heavyweight Champion of the world, the Gypsy King, Tyson. his way to the stage. Standing at 6 feet 7 inches from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, here is the undefeated WBC heavyweight champion of the world, the bronze bomber, Deontay Wilder.
Joe, who's from the United States? Amazing.
You tell me. A cascade of boos.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's bring our fighters to the scale at this time. First, the undefeated lineal heavyweight champion with a record of 29 wins, no losses, 1 draw with 20 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the former unified heavyweight champion of the world, the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury weighs in at 273 pounds.
Wow. Whoa. 273 for Fury.
3 pounds away from his all-time high, Joe, but he was in terrible shape. He's not in terrible shape now, but he's heavy.
Wow. All right, here comes Wilder, folks.
No losses, 1 draw, 41 wins coming by way of knockout, making the 11th defense of his title. Here is the undefeated WBC heavyweight champion of the world, the bronze bomber, Deontay Wilder. 231 pounds for Deontay Wilder.
231 for Wilder. That's a big version of Wilder as well.
He looks thick right now, too.
He looks thick.
Yeah.
Listen,
and again, Tyson Fury kept his shirt on. 273, kept his shirt on. I want to know what kind of shape you're in. We deserve to know this. It matters.
Well, he's never been the body beautiful, Sean. But you're right. At that weight, like, you can take your shirt off.
And I'm not saying that. I'm not saying I want to see his body.
Here's the deal. It's the first reveal of not doubting everything that he's been saying to us for weeks.
That's heavy. Hey, look, but Wilder's been 229 twice, including for Eric Molina. So this is the heaviest he's been.
Yes.
But he's still razor sharp.
He is.
You saw his body, Sean. That looked good.
And
well, that's his frame.
And he's not worried about
He's a long, lean leverage guy at 6'7", 231. Fury said, I'm coming in at 270. I'm going to use size and strength and power.
Joe,
and here they are jawing against each other. Remember, the Nevada State Athletic Commission is not allowing for a stare down today. They have put forth the order that the fighters are not allowed to be face-to-face.
It's a long-distance stare down. They are staring each other down. It just takes a while.
And this is much like the language and the actions we saw Wednesday, just separated by security and the officials who want to make sure that we get to the opening bell, that we can have this fight and everybody stays safe. And that is why they put forth the order, the commission order, that they will not be next to each other after the scale.
It's probably a good move, Joe. There's a lot of energy in this room right now. And I tell you what, I'm somewhat taken aback by the cascade, as you said, of boos for Deontay Wilder, and the British fans out in force for Tyson Fury. That looked like a coronation for Fury.
Yeah, I think right now the energy is so far on Tyson Fury's side that it's not funny.
Yep.
But they travel.
And now we got the double birds. Listen, you spend this much time consumed with one man, thinking about the guy who's going to be opposite you, who wants to ruin all your future plans, who wants to take your legacy and chop it out from underneath. And now you're within 24 hours. It starts to boil up. The hot crucible is there now.
And you know what? The best part about this sport is they're going to fight. It's not like, oh, in basketball, baseball, football, hey, could they fight?
Yeah.
No. They're going to make these guys fight. They will fight.
We got to get to that first bell. That's important to me. We got to get there.
They're going to fight.
And folks, you know, somebody said this to me as we walked in, as we update the tail of the tape, and you see that big number now under Fury at 273. Sugar Hill Stewart, his trainer, when questioned for the past weeks, is saying, are you guys serious you're going to come in at 270?
Yep.
Said, he's 6'9". Don't worry about it.
I'm worried about it slightly, Sean, in that he has such beautiful movement, and in that first fight, foot movement, hand movement, head movement. Can you carry that weight and be the same guy?
Listen, Javon Hill said that in the meeting. He said he can move the same. Now,